sharing the screen. Okay. So yesterday we have reached up to types of energy audit, and we have already covered preliminary energy audit, targeted energy audit, and today we will learn about detailed energy audit. ओके प्रिलिमिनरी में हम लोगों ने क्या देखा था कल, एक बार हम हल्का सा रिवाइज कर लेते हैं इसको. Preliminary audit, basically it is easiest of the three. Out of three audits, this one is the easiest and require very less data, and it establishes the energy consumption in the organization. At the same time, it estimates the scope for saving, it identifies the most likely area for attention, and it set a reference point. For targeted energy audit, first we need to have your preliminary energy audit, then only you will able to perform your target energy audit, in which we will choose a specific area or the equipment, and we will do the energy audit for that particular equipment or the area of the organization. The third one is detailed energy audit. So in detailed energy audit, we need to perform this energy audit in three phases. The first one is pre-audit phase, the second one is audit phase, the third one is post-audit phase. Or for these three phases, we need to cover 10 steps. So let us see what these steps are. So here we have a table in which we have plan of actions and purpose and result. So the first phase, which is pre-audit phase, in which the first step which we need to do is, first we need to plan and organize. Okay, what we need to do, how we need to do, we have to organize every aspect, then walk through the audit. Then we will start the audit with informal interview with energy manager, production or plant manager. And what result we should bring out of this? We should able to resource plan, we should able to do the resource planning, establish organize the energy audit team. At the same time, we should be able to organize instrument and time frame. We need to do macro data collection with a suitable type of industry. We need to familiarize with the process of plant activity. Also, we need to had our first hand observation and assessment of the current level operation and practices. And in the second step of pre-audit phase, we what we need to do is we need to conduct a brief meeting, or we can say an awareness program, with all the individual heads and person concerned. Whoever would be the concerned person, we need to have a meeting with them, so that we will get an awareness among them about the energy saving and all. And what result that should bring, it will be able to build up cooperation among the individuals and the one who is doing the energy auditing. Second, it will lead to the issue questionnaire for each department. It will lead to orientation, awareness creation. The third step, which will come under the second phase, is audit phase, in which what we need to do is, we primary data gathering, process flow diagram and energy utility diagram has been made, and the result, what it should lead us to, it will lead us, the step 3 should lead us to historic data analysis, baseline data collection. It will prepare for process flow chart. All the service utility system diagram has been made in this particular step. Design, operating data and schedule of operation has been done. Annual energy bill and energy consumption pattern has been studied. This all things will come under the step 3 of phase second, that is audit phase. And what the step 4 is also come under audit phase, which include conduction of survey and monitoring. And in this conduction survey and monitoring will lead us to measurements which we will get. And what measurement it includes? It includes motor survey, insulation and lightning survey with portable instrument for collection of more and accurate data. It will able to confirm and compare operating data and design data. Fifth step under the second phase includes conduction of detailed trials, experiment for selected energy guzzlers. And it will, the purpose is, or the result it should bring is, trials and experiment will take place under it, and that will under these trials and experiment 24 hours power monitoring will be done, load variation trends in pumps or fan or compressor or whatever component for which you are doing the energy auditing will be taken place. Boiler efficiency trials for up to 4 to 8 hours will be done. Furnace efficiency trials has been taken place. Further, in step 6, analysis of energy use has been made, and these analysis should lead us to energy and material balance and energy loss waste analysis. Under step 7 of phase 2nd, identification and development of energy conservation opportunities has been done and taken place, which will lead us to identification and consolidation measures, and it will lead us to conceive, develop, and refine ideas. Under this review, the previous processes has been ideas has been reviewed and suggested by the unit personnel. Also, previous ideas suggested by energy audit has been reviewed, if any. Brainstorming has been done, like if something could be done, it could be suggested in this stage only. Vendors are contacted for new technology if they can provide us with the improved technology so that the energy efficiency could be increased. In step 8, cost benefit analysis has been done, which could lead us to technical feasibility assessment, economic viability assessment, prioritization of every aspect, which process should be done first so that we could have more cost benefits. Selection of the most promising project has been done. Prior things measures are there in which priorities will be given: low priority, high priority, medium priority. And again, after step 8, step 9 under phase 2nd will include the reporting and presentation to the top management. Once you done with all these analysis, what you will do, you will report and make a presentation to the top management so that whatever the conclusion you have drawn could be delivered to the top management for their action. So in this, what you need to do is you had to make a documentation has been done, report presentation will be done to the top management. Up to from step 3 to 9, this all will come under phase 2nd. For phase 3rd, that is post audit phase, once your audit is done, what should be the next step? The step 10 is implementation and follow up. Now you have done your audit, you have suggested the improvisations, you have suggested the changes which could be made so that the energy efficiency or cost will be improved. For that, now you need to do the implementation and you need to take the follow up. So this step will come under phase 3rd, and that is step 10 of the whole process. And the final result, what it will bring to you, it will lead you to the assistant in implementation of recommended measures and monitor the performance. Action plans, schedule for implementation, follow up, and periodic review will come under under the purpose of this step 10. So that was all about your 3rd type of energy audit. Now, whosoever energy auditor will be, he should ask all these questions. See, we have yesterday also we have discussed all these things, like what we need to ask if we are doing the energy auditing. Then same things are there. Question which an energy auditor should ask are: what function does the system serve? How does the system serve its function? What is the energy consumption of the system? What are the indicators that the system is working properly? Like for a fan, what is the indication that it is working properly? If we are increasing the regulator, then it should increase its speed, and whether it is rotating with a particular speed of not, that is the indicator of a fan. If it is to see key whether it is working properly or not. Similarly, if the system is not working, how can it be restored to good working condition? I will take the same example of the fan. Suppose if the fan is not working properly, how would you come to know? It's not if you are increasing the regulator, the speed is not increasing, or it is for the same voltage, it is not rotating with the speed as it is it is supposed to be working on. So at that scenario, one possibility is maybe if we will replace the condenser of the fan, it will start working again smoothly. So these are the things which it could be done to restore the fan to the good working condition. And how can the energy cost of this system to be reduced? Finally, we will see when how the energy cost of this whole system would be reduced. So these are some questions which an energy auditor need to ask or should ask while doing the energy auditing. So that was all about energy auditing. See, this is the typical industrial format. If you are doing energy auditing, if you are preparing some report, then these are some points which you need to cover. So I won't go into very detail of that. See, I will just summarize what is there. If you are doing energy auditing, then you have to prepare a report, and in that report you need to cover all of these points, like introduction about the plant in which you are doing the energy auditing. In under that you have to give the general plant details and description, component of production cost, major energy use and areas. Okay, then second thing or second topic which you need to cover is production process description, the whole process which production process which is carry out in that particular plant. You need to describe that. Under that description you need to give the brief description of manufacturing process. You need to provide a flow diagram and major unit operation. You need to give information about the major raw material inputs, quantity and cost. Again, you have to give detail about energy and utility system description. Under that you need to give information about the list of utilities and brief description of each utility. For example, electricity, steam, water, compressed air. If they are having something more, then you also need to include those also. See, for example, if you are doing the energy auditing of a house, then in that scenario, what you would have: electricity, fan, geyser, or your cooler or AC or whatever. Okay. And again, you also need to give the detailed process flow diagram and energy and material balance. Under that you need to give the flow chart showing flow rate, temperature, pressure, all inputs, water balance for entire industry. You need to give the brief of energy efficiency in utility and process system, under which you need to cover all these points, which include your boiler efficiency or your furnace efficiency, whatever the components are there in the utility. Or further you also need to give the information about the energy conservation option and recommendation, and under which you need to provide the list of option in terms of no load, low cost, medium cost, everything you need to cover under that. And you need to provide your suggestions, like what measures need to be done so that cost and energy saving will be there for the particular utility. Implementation plan for the energy saving measures project. And next, like what are the different vendors which are like whose project you are taking into whose project you are analyzing, and the list of instruments which are there. Okay, so that was the brief of the points which you need to cover, and the final report which you need to have, and in that particular report what are the points you should write when you are doing energy auditing. So that was the main point under which you need to write everything. Okay. So there are definitely some instruments which are used during energy auditing. As we have seen that during energy auditing there are many measurements we need to take. We need to take the parameters for every aspect of a component of the utility, in which, like, we need to measure the resistance, we need to measure the voltage, we need to measure the energy consumption, we need to measure the capacitance, inductance, everything. So there are number of like energy meters should be needed. So all these instrument we need for doing the energy auditing, and these are some. Yeah, basically, see, this is your, I guess, kind of potentiometer measuring the resistance. These are some instrument which is showing temperature measurement is required, pressure measurement is required. So these are some instrument which is showing the measuring instrument which is which has been used in energy auditing. So these are some common instruments. See, this is temperature measurement and pressure measurement device. This is some resistance measurement, current measurement device, three-phase resistance measurement device is there. So the voltage measurement device is there. So these are different devices which has been used in energy auditing. So the next topic is identification of energy conservation factors and area. So under energy auditing only, we need to identify what are the different energy conservation factors and what are their areas. So under this, steps for conserving energy can be taken if we know the correct factor and area to be studied, and also detail of fuel used. So we can take steps to conserve the energy only if we know about the correct factors which we need to focus on, and the area which need to be studied, and also the detail of the fuel used. This can be energy generation, energy distribution, energy usage by process, fuel substitution. So steps for that we need to be like know about which factor we need to be focused on. These factor could be your energy generation, could be your energy distribution, could be your energy usage by process, or fuel substitution. It can be anything. So technical and economic feasibility factors: technology, availability, space, skilled manpower, reliability, service, impact of mission on safety, quality, production, or process. These are your technical factors. Maintenance requirement and spare availability. This is a sample worksheet in which some factors are given. The first factor is your investment. Under investment, equipment, civil work, instrumentation, auxiliaries are there. Annual operating cost. For under annual operating cost, we know that there is a capital cost, maintenance cost, manpower cost, energy cost, depreciation cost would be there under annual operating cost. The third factor is your annual saving. So you can have annual saving on your thermal energy, electrical energy, raw material, waste disposal. So net saving would be your annual saving minus your annual operating cost. Okay, if you want to know about the net saving, then you can easily deduct the annual saving. You can deduct the annual operating cost from the annual saving. The one which you get is your payback. Whatever profit you are getting. Okay, so energy cost in Indian scenario will depend on some common factors. This is your common fuel. You can the main energy cost occur is on fuel. Power cost in Indian electricity cost varies substantially, not only from state to state but also from city to city. This is you well aware of. The cost of 1 unit power, 1 unit of energy in Rajasthan may not be same as of Delhi. It may be not same as of your Uttarakhand or whatever state. It vary from state to state. Even sometimes it vary from city to city. Fuel cost input and factors. In under fuel cost input and factors, we have price at source, transport charge, type of transport. Like if you have to transport to a longer distance, and transport charge will be there, will be more. So in that scenario, your fuel cost automatically increased. Quality of fuel, better quality, you have to pay more. Okay, contamination, moisture, energy content, and reason kya hai? What is the reason of these energy cost is tariff structure. Okay. For now we will understand the energy cost in an industrial energy bill summary. We will to understand the energy cost. Here we have a industrial energy bill summary. See, you are well aware of your domestic bill. So here we have a industrial energy bill summary in which there are various factors on which total cost is depending. The first one is type of energy. Okay, or original units, how much unit is you are spending, unit cost, per unit cost, and monthly bill. So for electricity, the original units is 5 lakh kilowatt hour, unit cost is rupees 400 per kilowatt hour, monthly bill is coming, I guess, 20 lakh. And similarly for fuel oil, the original unit which is consumed is 200 kiloliter, and the cost is 11,000 kiloliter, and the monthly bill is around 22 lakh. Coil is again the consumption is 1,000 tons, and the rupees per unit is 2,200 per ton, and the amount is 22 lakh, and the total bill is thus comprising 64 lakh. Okay, so this is basically the summary. So we can see that the maximum spending is occurring on fuel oil and coil. So if we want to do, if we will like see with this data, we can't do the energy auditing in detail. So we have the first type of energy auditing, preliminary energy auditing. By with this data, if we want to perform the energy auditing with preliminary auditing, so I can see that okay, we have these three aspects of electricity, fuel oil and coal. So if I want to reduce the total cost, I want to focus on suppose coal or fuel oil, how I can reduce it. The one thing is the one suggestion could be okay, we can replace the coal with some more cheaper and a more cheaper source of energy. So this could be the outcome should be like that only. Okay, in energy auditing, first you need to have a brief look, you need to analyze the whole situation, and then you will recommend some suggestion which will eventually lead to optimization and reduction in overall cost. So the next thing is benchmarking. What is benchmarking? Benchmarking is a useful tool for understanding energy consumption pattern in the industrial sector and also to take requisite measure for improving the energy efficiency. Okay, if you want to understand what is the pattern, how uh, for example, like if we want to see in which month of the year how much energy is supposed to be consumed, then we have to be like we have to analyze the energy consumption pattern of the industry. Okay, and then only we can take the requisite measures. A fact, what are the different factors which is included in benchmarking? These are scale of operation, vintage of technology, raw material specification and quality, and product specification and quality. Okay, these are some factors. So benchmarking could be done with two methods: internal benchmarking and external benchmarking. And if you are doing internal benchmarking, you need to have your historical data and trend, like in history or in past, how the different aspects are trending, like when it is they are decreasing, at what which month of the year they are decreasing, and in which month it is increasing. And finally you will have a trend, and after analyzing you can suggest your you can recommend some suggestion to the other party. In external benchmarking, what is done across similar, it is see, internal benchmarking is done within the industry. You will look out for the trend in that particular industry in its history with the help of historical data. But external benchmarking, you will compare with the similar kind of industry. Like if you are doing it for a paper industry, then you will analyze that particular paper industry with two different paper industry, and after comparison you can suggest okay, you are consuming this much power, okay, you are consuming 10 kilowatt hour energy, and these are consuming some 8 kilowatt hour or 7,000 kilowatt hour energy. Then you these they are implementing this one thing, so you can also implement the same thing, and you will have reduced energy consumption and thus reduced cost. So across similar industries, scale of operation, vintage of technology, raw material specification and quality, and product specification and quality has been observed under that. Benchmark marking energy performance, quantification of fixed and variable energy consumption trend, vice versa production level, comparison of the industry energy performance with respect to various production level has been done under this. Identification of best practices would be taken place. Scope and margin available for energy consumption and cost reduction would be done. Basis for monitoring and target setting exercises. So benchmarking parameter, production or equipment related. So gross production related are there, and equipment utility related. In gross, the example are paper produced in a paper plant or in cement plant. We can say that cement produced is the gross production related benchmarking. Utility related is refrigeration on air conditioning plant, diesel power generation plant. Okay, so measuring energy performance, you can measure the energy performance with some factors. For example, this production factor for which the formula is current year production upon reference year production. Reference year equivalent energy use. The reference year equivalent use is the energy that would have been used to produce the current year production output. Okay, so similarly, plant energy performance is given by the formula reference year equivalent minus current year and year energy upon reference year equivalent multiplied by 100. So maximizing system efficiency, some measures it is given, but I will suggest that you will go for the measures according to the area in which you are performing the energy auditing. It is given for the big industries. So that's all for your energy auditing. That's all for your energy auditing. Okay. सी जो हमने स्टार्टिंग में पढ़ा बेटा, दैट इज 1 मिनट,